Welcome to another Quantum Conversation, brought to you by acoustichealth.com. I'm Loren Gailey, and I invite you to sit back as we enter the quantum realm, that space of the greater part of you. It is your connection to infinite possibilities, infinite potential, and infinite mastery. Welcome, everyone. I'm so excited to be here to have a discussion of higher consciousness with Zoe Davenport, who is going to share with us on how we can connect to our galactic heritage. How we can connect to our galactic starseed heritage. This is something that we know within us and that we can connect to, because as we get multidimensional, we absolutely must get galactic. If the universe is indeed inside us, we must get galactic. So let's welcome Zoe Davenport back to Quantum Conversations. Hello, Zoe.
Hi, Loren. Thank you so much for having me again. I'm so excited.
I love this live stuff because it's totally live and totally real. And so I thank you for playing with me in this way. Here we go. We're going to talk about galactic starseed heritage. What is the biggest question that you come across? I mean, this is a hot topic, yet the biggest question is like, how can we tell, right? Can you elaborate?
For sure. Firstly, I'd love to just give a very short background as to why I want to talk about this right now, why this is a hot topic for me or an alignment. And throughout the kind of 10-year period of my awakening, at the very, very beginning of my awakening, one of the first things that I was told is that I'm a starseed. And when I heard the term starseed, it kind of made sense as to everything I had questioned my entire life up until that point. I didn't know what it meant. I didn't know what that connection was, but it helped me to understand why I did not feel home, why I never felt truly settled within my being, with the family that I had, the schools I went to, the jobs I had, the relationships I had. It just, all of it felt alien to me, right? I felt like I was living my life, but there was something inside me that knew it wasn't my truth. And so when I heard that word starseed, it's like I lit up. And I had the word empath as well, which made sense. But then when I heard starseed, I was like, that makes sense. And so then I went on my quest, my journey. Well, where am I from? What does starseed mean? And I started learning about the different constellations, the different races, extraterrestrials that are all here co-creating and supporting the planetary shift. And there was various points where I had identified myself as being more from Arcturus or being a Palladian. And then I started to open up even more and have relationships with these beings of light that would visit me. And then there was a period of my awakening where all of my awareness of my multidimensional channeling, my ability to have different guides, names, travel astrally, it kind of all dissolved into nothingness. And there was like a period of darkness where it's almost like I felt like I had lost my gifts, my spiritual connection, and I'm doing sessions and things and thinking, am I actually like bringing that message through? But what was coming through made sense to people. So I was like, okay, well, there's still that connection. It's evolved. And it's almost like what happened is I had to open up the heart space within myself. I had to go through the different layers of what starseed means, what these connections to these different realms, these different dimensions. And then it all had to collapse in on itself for me to come back and look at myself in the mirror and appreciate the human expression of what my starseed soul had chosen to experience on Earth. And so that's when the soul work came in, the self-love, the actually staring at myself in the mirror and going, wow, actually, I chose to be here. I chose to be in this body. I chose to have this name, this identity. I chose to connect to the earth. And all of my awareness of these higher, more expanded energies went into my lower three centers. And I got really connected to the earth. I didn't stop my connection to the different layers of reality, but I was able to understand my purpose and mission as a human on earth and what that meant. And so I just wanted to give this background information because I have been asked so many times by people searching for who they are, where am I from? And in your awakening journey, in your ascension, you will go through all different layers of who you are. And you will also go through the dissolving of your ego, the reconstruction of your being, of your identity, of who you are in human form. And you will understand that the frequency you hold in your human is who you are and is where you're from. Yet you have the divine connection to all of these different layers of self. And so I will answer the question in the sense of how I've answered it to every single person that's asked me that question. I think I'm a starseed. Where am I from? You are from the stars. You are of the earth. You are the essence of divine creator that is expressing itself through you in this moment, in this reality. Now, the beauty is when you no longer need to identify with a specific part of you, whether you identify with Palladian, Arcturian, or whether you were a high priestess in Atlantis, or whether you were an elemental in Lemuria, whatever these beings' expression of you, you get to expand, awaken, and activate your memories of self, of all of you. And so when we want to identify with one part of starseed, we block ourselves from that full expression. And one thing that we are coming into embodiment of as a starseed in human incarnation on earth in this physical reality as it is ascending into a higher consciousness, is we are able to pull through all of the light experiences that we have already had. So if you are identifying, if the term starseed resonates for you, your original soul inception is not of the earth, but yet you are human. So how can we bridge, marry, and embody the term starseed, but also embody the term human as cosmic as the word starseed? And that's when the energy, the frequency, the light that we are here to bring through to hold that collective shift, because all that work we do on a micro level is affecting the macrocosm of reality. When we embody that in our human, we bring all that energy down into our lower centers, and that's where we create actionable change in human formation. That's when conscious businesses are created, governmental structures are formed, the telepathic connection of humanity is strengthened, and so there is a centralized universal intelligence that is governing practices that humanity has being set up for success. The basic needs of all humanity is the priority, and so that all of us can bring through those gifts. Not everyone is a starseed on earth, but everyone is a soul. Everyone has had experiences. But if you identify to the term starseed, there is a particular activation that you are here to work with. And that's opening up your spiritual gifts. That's working with Gaia grid portals, working with the crystalline grid. That is bringing through your specific codes and your specific identity. But your specific identity is part of a greater collective picture. So me and you, Loren, for example, you're a starseed and you're expressing the frequency by bringing together groups of people so that more people can hear the message. I'm a conduit of that message. I have gone through the most tremendous amount of interesting experiences since the 1111 gateway, which I will go into because it has to be shared.
Bella, is that the 1111 gateway from this past year, this past month? Okay. Okay.
Yeah. And the reason for that is those of us that are kind of got a bit comfy being human, like just human, not just human, but a bit kind of like, oh, you know what, this is pretty beautiful. We're being kind of hurried along now. We're kind of being asked to reconnect to that starseed, reconnect to our heritage being, we weren't incarnated here to suffer, and we certainly weren't here to spend the next 60 years working through our karma and our trauma. That timeline is done for us. And we need to shift that. We need to shift our frequency, because as we shift our frequency, none of that stuff exists in the dimension that we hold right now. And that's what we're going into, the 2020 timeline. It exists, it's manifesting, it's creating as we are stepping into our birthright of being multidimensional.
We are stepping into our birthright of being multidimensional. 2020 is here. We're feeling it. Absolutely. Definitely feeling it. And when you are talking about the, oh my gosh, the beings who are here to assist us, there are higher dimensional beings that we can work with. And that's really, I mean, whether that's ourself as these galactic beings, right? But when we tune into ourself and embrace this multidimensionality, whether or not we understand what it is or where we're from, but when we understand that, we're actually open to a lot of information. Is that how you would say that the new inspiration and the new systems are going to be downloaded from these higher realms?
Yes, because why humanity has got itself into the space that it has is it's cut itself off to its self-expression. It's cut itself off to unity, to its understanding of the infinite expression of energy, of source consciousness. And so we've already done this. This timeline has already been created. New Earth has already been created. The structures are already in place. What we are doing is tapping into those timelines and reverse engineering. So we've got the building blocks, right? The self-building blocks where you do your inner work, you discover self-love, you start opening your heart, you maybe start connecting to a spirit guide or two, you start working with your third eye, right? You start doing these spiritual practices. And that's when you start to shift your frequency and more light can come through, more information can come through. Codes are activating the dormant strands of DNA. The DNA understands the language of light. It's waking it up. It's waking it up to its birthright. So there is a shift that we know is happening. And if many of you were around, probably waking up around 2011, 2012, if you woke up before that, you would have spent some time feeling like, where are my people at? Where is everyone? Suddenly there was a huge influx of people awakening, hungry for knowledge, entire realities collapsing, jobs being cancelled, money being lost, relationships failing, all this doom and gloom. But really it's like, this is not what you came here for, right? And so it's questioned everyone into their awakening. And now we are going to see another wave of that. And so those of us that are on the ground right now, we are all holding this light in preparation for more of us to wake up, because that's what we want. That's what we've asked for. That's what humanity needs. My vision in my meditation practice, as I envisage all of the leaders of the world awakening to their truth and their hearts, I envisage the people with the biggest mass impact. And some of them are, but they are silent. Some of the billionaires, they are waking up. And they're doing little things. They're buying up land so that it can be preserved. There are those there. And so, you know, there is a patience, but there is also an excitement that we can step into when it comes to understanding that this is the journey right now. And as we align to this 2020 timeline, it's a completion right now. We are in completion. Some of you may have been feeling very distraught these last few weeks leading up to the end of December, feeling like you're going backwards. Maybe 2019 felt like nothing worked out. But it's beautiful. Everything is now ready to launch forwards. And so I wanted to share this conversation today to activate and remember people that you are multidimensional, you are a star seed, you did come here for a purpose. You didn't come here to spend years and years and years working through your trauma or working through poverty or working through scarcity. It's not what you're here for. It's not your purpose.
Hallelujah, to be done with that and to move from that. All right, so the next wave then, it's coming. And that's very hopeful. And this is why the greatest spiritual teachers, all the spiritual teachers have been saying, hold the vision of New Earth. I love your vision of New Earth. And I think that it's happening. We're not going to talk politics because I don't know if politics is able to have a higher conversation. Anytime there's one person or another that's pointing or calling another person names, that's exactly the opposite of what we want. However, Marianne Williamson, again, we're not talking politics. I don't care who you're for. We care about the message. Wouldn't we love a message of love somehow, some way, whether or not it's a television ad that just makes it during an election? These are some of the new things that we can do to support some of the new visions that we have. And so, yes, we can see it kind of come up a little bit in the political arena where we have someone from our member area, our community, standing up and bringing forth a message of love. That's absolutely beautiful. But yet what you said, it's more of a boots on the ground awakening. The leaders that we're all feeling the leaders stepping up. Anybody who's watching this is a New Earth leader. And so you have something to say about that, because we can go deep inside and we can go, uh-oh, there's a little bit of fear coming up. And so what would you say for those who do feel that or who are feeling stuck? Because you said it's time to come along now.
Yeah. I mean, put simply, share your light, see the shifts in your world. Put simply, share your light. Are you being the most expanded expression of yourself every day? Are you connecting to your infinite knowing of who you are, who you came here to be, and what your purpose is? And if you don't know your purpose, if you don't know who you are, and you don't know what you came here to be, then start owning as if you already know. Start being the vibration of what you want to embody on planet Earth. We cannot simply huddle together in our little special sacred private groups, feeling this love, feeling this expansion, yet go out into the world and shout at someone in traffic, or not hold the door open for someone, or play the victim consciousness game, the blame game, the judgment game, the envy game, the attachment game, the expectation game. So as you share your light, and this is simply a shift in the story you choose to say, the beliefs you choose to have, the thoughts you choose to focus on. As you try something different for yourself, you will get different results. And many people are so disconnected from who they are, yet they're going through their awakening. And I see it. I've worked with thousands of clients worldwide, and I see a very clear pattern. And it is as simple as sharing your light to see the shifts in your world. And you don't have to share your light of speaking your light. You just be your light. You embody your light. You embody your heart. You embody your connection. And so those of you that are awake, that are awakening, which all of you are, because you're listening to this conversation. If you weren't, this would make no sense to you whatsoever. You would turn it off and think we were crazy. So you are, the fact that you are hearing this transmission. And so as you continue down this journey, 2020 is going to challenge you to really step up into what you came here to do. And if you are still struggling with the human stuff, if money is an issue, if you're holding on to trauma, if things are still holding you down, what do you need to do to shift that? How can you raise your frequency daily so that you are shifting focus, you are shifting perspective, right? I wish to share this as well. There's so many people that share, but I've done so much work already. When will I be through this? This awakening journey, Naren, this is full time. You know, this is a full-time activation.
Yeah.
That you are literally shifting your entire human design. Your original template of coming into this planet was based on karmic density, was based on a lie, was based on fear. You were waking up from that slumber, and guess what? You get to choose a completely different storyline for yourself. You get to choose a different timeline. You get to play and embody a different version of you. And all of us are not the beings that we were before the 1111 gateway. All of us are not who we are going to be moving into next year. And so if you're feeling slightly intensity or more energy coming through, or you're wakening up, sporadic sleep, stuff going on with your tummy, digestion, maybe there's certain foods that you suddenly just can't eat. It's all part of that. You're getting ready, energetically getting ready, and getting ready to get ready to get ready. What are we getting ready for? Well, you couldn't even imagine. None of us can. None of us can truly imagine what we're getting ready for. But when I'm shown visions of new earth, and I do a lot of work in my sleep, a lot of astral travel, and the other night I was shown the new earth. I was shown how the hydraulic system work with transportation, clean renewable energy. I was shown the governmental structures coming into harmony. Whether I'll see that in my specific human lifetime, I don't know. I'm not attached to that. But I know right now my purpose is to hold that vision.
Oh my gosh, that is the most important thing for all of us to do. I love that. I so love that. Thank you. And again, you've just illustrated the importance of holding our vision for New Earth, because we are like the avatars and the great masters and beings that hold space for us. And I love, Zoe, how you connected in with the earth. You're so deeply connected in with the earth. In Costa Rica, you surf, you're out on the water.
Mm-hmm.
And you just knew that was part of your beingness. And what would you say about that as one of these powerful tools for raising our vibration? We must connect with the earth and the cosmos. Share more.
They're one and the same. The frequency of earth is the manifestation of consciousness. Consciousness before thought form is consciousness. Consciousness doesn't need thought, but it's explored with thought. Thought has then created form. And so there is no up there and down here. And that's a huge thing that's happened in the New Age literatures, you know, that people have shared. Oh, you need to ground, you need to be in your body, you need to, you know, make sure that you're here. We need to be all of it. Earth is of a higher consciousness. And so as we're opening and activating our higher consciousness within our energy centers, it's all of it. We can connect to the dimensional realms through our roots, through the earth, right? It's all one and the same. It kind of, when I'm shown energy, it's quite difficult to explain in English, but when I'm shown energy, or I go through different journeys, like all of my energy centers, they kind of shift into my heart space. And it's like my consciousness goes through my heart, and then it goes through the earth. And then I kind of land in some outer space somewhere. And that's when I'm shown different Akashic records and particular alien species, spaceships, have little visits, conversations, and then I kind of come back through again. It's almost like my consciousness goes through a wormhole, but it always goes through the earth.
and the heart. So again, that connection right there. The heart, you opened your heart so much to receive as well. Mm-hmm. Can you share a way that everyone can do a daily practice to do what you did, to maybe, you know, I know others would love to go and see alien spaceships. Well, let's not call them alien,
no.
but spaceships, and maybe you want to share what that looked like for you as well.
Sure. I mean, the first time that I was contacted by the Palladians was when I was a child. They worked with me quite extensively and were bringing me downloads of light language. And it wasn't until about 3 years ago that I had that memory back of my childhood. And I remember playing with the Palladians, like, used to have this little kitchen, like this little fake kitchen. And I remember the Palladians playing with me around this kitchen and them showing me the languages. And I think about 9, oh, I can't, you know what, time is so interesting now. At some point in the past, a previous version of myself, I sat back in a chair and I closed my eyes and I opened my eyes and I woke up in this white spaceship and I was on a bed and behind me there was a window, and out the window it was space, it was stars. And a woman with like long pointy ears, long blonde hair, had a clipboard, and she looked at me and gasped. She's like, "You're not meant to be here yet." She was almost like, "Oh, hang on, this, no." And I remember going, "Oh, I'm sorry." And I closed my eyes again and kind of back into my chair, opened my eyes, and I was back in the room again. And I think from that point forward, I was like, okay, this is happening. This is real. This is what I'm being shown, to remember that as much as I identify with this human part of me, there is much more than I know yet. And so you're asking about a daily practice. If you research remote viewing, this is a really easy, great practice for you to tune in to different parts of reality that you would want to see, that you would want questions on. And if you don't know what remote viewing is, it's basically a practice where you zone out of your consciousness, leaves your human body, and it is able to tap into and see with eyes a different time, a different dimension, a different reality. And they actually, the US government had a whole psychic unit, and they had a whole massive study on remote viewing. And so they taught and trained soldiers how to remote view to see beyond enemy lines and spy on documents and things. So it's a tried and tested method. It's really powerful. All I will say with remote viewing is protect yourself, ground yourself, ask for the highest experience and highest information. Call upon the highest degree of light to come through you while you're practicing. But this is part of, this is one aspect of our spiritual gifts that is quite readily available to us to help us see things and maybe have a better awareness. So maybe if there's something that you're wanting to see about your future, try remote viewing. If there's something that if you are wanting to connect in with maybe your higher self, try the remote viewing. And where is my higher self residing right now? Maybe your higher self is residing on the Council of Light. Maybe your higher self is on a spaceship somewhere. Maybe your higher self is on another planet, sending you messages back through time. It's quite fun when we get into it. And as I shared, like, there's many different kind of ways of and techniques of remote viewing. I'll be honest, Ren, like, I never knew what any of it was. It just kind of happened for me. And it wasn't until 2 years later that I read what remote viewing was. I was like, oh, that's what I'm doing.
Yes. I was going to ask, these impressions, it is our spiritual faculty. And when we open our heart, they are apparently opening up, as you've witnessed in your own life. And so it brings us to dreams, because that's another avenue, would you say? So I know people have had dreams of being on board a ship, of flying a ship. So what do you have to say about that? Because that really is another connection.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah. So, I mean, the only differences between remote viewing and dreaming is remote viewing, you're awake, You're kind of like, okay, I'm sat on my chair and I'm in my room and I'm going to close my eyes. Whereas with dreaming, you are quite often probably astral projecting. And so some things that you can do before you sleep, if you feel like it, I always like to sleep with a specific crystal under my pillow, or I'll put 4 crystals around my bed, and I'll set intentions before I go to sleep. But I always set intentions before I sleep anyway, that I am protected, that I'm connected to my body, that if I choose to leave and I choose to journey into the different realms, that I always find myself back, that I'm clearing density, that I'm clearing energy that's no longer serving. And what's been interesting around since the 1111 gateway, my connection to my dream space has been a lot more vivid, vibrant, and there's a lot that I'm clearing. Different, I don't really want to go into too much detail, but I am waking up 2:30, 3:33, 4:44, 5:55. I'm kind of waking up and then I'm going back in again. I'm waking up and I'm going back in again. And I feel just as energized in the morning. Like, I don't need that kind of full 8 hours of sleep. But there is a lot that is happening right now in the dream world. So if you are having experiences, what would be really good is to have a journal and start documenting, because sometimes you're being shown or you're being downloaded information. It may not make sense to your human yet, but stick with it, keep it, hold on to it, and let more pieces come in. Let more pieces of the jigsaw puzzle present themselves. Maybe you've been asking Spirit a specific question, which I know all of you do. How many of you are actually listening and receiving the answer? It's always going to come in the way that you may not have expected it to, right? And so that dream space is a really good way of connecting to those answers. If you do identify with the term starseed, then yes, you probably are having a lot of astral travel in your sleep. If you want to be more conscious of that, it's literally just doing the work every day. I'm going to consciously remember, I'm going to consciously wake up in my journey. Okay, I will share this. The other night for me, this was about a week ago, I felt very, very tired, almost like I could have just fallen asleep walking along. I almost felt like very lethargic, very, very lethargic. And it's almost like I had been energetically kind of just energetically like taken over. It's like I was in my body, but I was just very, very kind of like I couldn't open my eyes. And I'll be clear, I have very, very rare experiences of this because I like to clear my energy and keep my frequency quite high. But on this occasion, this happened to me. So I was just in between being awake and going to sleep. And between that split second where I was about to completely nod into subconscious, there were lots and lots of beings that came in the room, and I saw them with my eyes very clearly. And I remember saying to my partner, oh, there's lots of little beings in the room. And a split second before I totally lost consciousness, a little alarm bell went off in my heart. I'm not meant to go with these beings. This isn't feeling light to me. This isn't feeling joyful. And at that moment, I recognized that there was literally an electric energetic shock that went through my body, and I had an epileptic fit in bed. And it was so severe that I literally had shaken myself all the way off the bed, and my partner's kind of holding on to me. And in that consciousness, the shaking was like, it was like this push-pull energy where I was being guided to be pulled out of my body, and I was guiding myself back in my body. And then when I came through, I was like energetically throwing up, and all of this like black kind of energy was coming out of my mouth. And then I was bringing through light language and brought through this code that I was shown in my third eye, just all of this light above the house, just all of this energy. And then the Palladian Council came in behind me, and they all put their hands on my shoulders, and they said, you are supported, you are safe, we are with you. What is happening? is you are stepping into your starseed heritage. You're being up-leveled, you're being upgraded, you're being activated. So there was a little interference that wanted to come in to sabotage that. But you are here now because you have chosen the light. You have chosen to be here. You came back into your body. And I'm going to say that's probably one of the most profound experiences I've ever had. And they said I have to start sharing these experiences with humanity, with those ready to listen, because this is happening to many people, these more connected, multidimensional experiences, and we don't talk about it enough. And we have to, because it helps us to understand that this is part of multidimensionality. This is part of really embodying ourselves as a light worker. And, you know, I wasn't scared or anything, because I'm not fearful of anything. You know, I could have been abducted. I wouldn't have been scared. That's fine. But in that moment, my consciousness chose, oh, no, actually, this isn't feeling totally right. So I had to come back in.
Wow. What an experience. And thank you for sharing that. The seizure was the fight to come back in.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good thing that you were not scared, really. Others might not have done so well.
Mm-hmm. Well, I want to share, because if anyone ever does go through these experiences, come into your body and show and be love, be the divine, be love, be who you came here to be. I've never had a seizure in my life. I don't have a history of it. But what's interesting is a few days leading up to that, I have been experiencing uncontrollable shakes. And so it made me question, wow, like I know when I'm being upgraded because I have interference come in. There is almost like a little sabotage of some area that's like, oh, no, we don't want you to really embody your light. And starseeds, we are entering into the 2020 timeline now, and it's time to share your light. And you are loved, you are supported, you are protected. Even in times where you may feel that you're not, you are so supported. That's when the Palladians came through. There was just so much love, so much beauty in the awareness that they were bringing through. We're not here on our own. We have such a huge team around us. You know, we have all of that support, and we need to start tapping into that, tapping into ourselves, tapping into our higher consciousness, our higher selves, so that we're not in the struggle puddle dealing with all the human stuff, the pain, the trauma, the scarcity, the lack, all of that. That needs to go. That can't reside in 2020. It has to go.
Okay, it can't reside. So that means turning off the news. But I have been peeking at it lately just because I'm a journalist, and I just like to be aware, because that to me helps me be of greater service. It really does. If we can see what's out there and the way it's being expressed, that helps us with our own call. And I would just, you know, in my vision of New Earth, we're going to see new ways of media. We're going to see new people being stories being reported on that are uplifting, instead of the positive feel-good story at the end of the newscast. We're going to see it as everything. There's not going to be anything negative or detrimental. It's going to be positive news. That's one thing for us, but it's also a personal integrity as well. I think we're going to see each person's own integrity step up. And when you say connect inside to the higher self, it is that what we know within ourselves on the way that we navigate forward. So that's a very deep connection. And you mentioned that we can close our eyes and go within and ask where our higher self, remote view where our higher self is at. Zoe, I'd love for you to lead us on a short process to connect with the higher self and give us an example of how we could do that. What would we say? How would we do it?
Sure. And yeah, just in a quick response around the news, there is nothing wrong with being aware of what's happening globally if you can be non-attached to what it is. If you can come at it from observation of like, oh, this is what humanity is working through right now. So therefore, this is still the distortion within myself. How can we disconnect to the density of that and bring through the love codes, bring through those, the heartfelt codes, right?
Right. Come on, people, let's bring through the love codes. Awesome.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So, okay, let me just tune in for a moment and see what wants to come through. Okay, so if you take a moment then for me to close your eyes and just do some shoulder rolls forwards and backwards. Maybe stretch your neck from side to side. And then just bringing your neck straight, tipping your chin in towards your chest so you feel a length in the back of your neck, crown up towards the sky. Just recognizing how you are sitting. Are you leaning forwards in your posture? Are you leaning slightly backwards? Are you kind of hunched? Are you sideways? So just sit up straight for a moment because this will help with the flow of energy. Maybe lifting your shoulders up, back and down and tipping your pelvis 1/4 of an inch upwards so you feel a lengthening in the base of your spine. And if you can, having the soles of your feet planting firmly on the floor. Okay, we're going to have our hands facing, palms of our hands facing upwards today in your lap, up towards the sky. And then bringing in a deep breath through your nose and out through your mouth. In through your nose, out through your mouth. In through your nose, out through your mouth. And then just breathing in and out through your nose and focus on the spot between your eyebrows. So slightly rolling your eyes up and inward slightly underneath your lid. So keeping your eyes closed, but focusing on that spot to your third eye. And as you breathe in, just imagining in the center, your third eye center, beautiful white light. And on your exhalations, just relaxing, surrendering, letting everything go. Breathing in, imagining the color white into your third eye. Breathing out, relaxing. If your mind starts to wander, just come back to your breathing. I am breathing in, I am breathing out. I am breathing in, I am breathing out. And then just bringing your awareness to the soles of your feet, bringing and imagining beautiful roots from the soles of your feet down into the earth, all the way into the crystalline core of Gaia. If you're feeling an extra need of grounding today, you can bring a cord of light from your sacral through your root down into the soles of your feet and down into the earth. This is your practice. This is your journey. And then bring your awareness back to your third eye again. Back to the space between your eyebrows. Knowing that your body is grounded, just expanding your auric field about 4 feet all the way around you for me. So on your inhalation, you can just imagine your auric field just opening up and imagining it being wrapped in a beautiful rose gold energy. Deepening your inhalations and exhalations. You almost sound like the beautiful breath of the ocean. And then just taking your consciousness. So imagine your consciousness just sat at the back of your head. So however you perceive your consciousness, maybe a little ball of light, maybe 2 eyes, however you are seeing your consciousness. And just imagine your consciousness starting to float up, floating up into the sky, floating up through the atmosphere, and floating up into the stars. And just imagine your consciousness connected to your being by a cord of golden light, so that you know where your being is, you know where your body is, but just keeping the vision in your mind's eye, using your imagination, your consciousness up into space, almost looking down at Earth and its beautiful auric field all the way around Earth, seeing all the stars, maybe zooming in to seeing all the planets, Mars, Pluto, Saturn. And then just taking a further journey through your consciousness now. Just setting an intention to meet with your higher self. So your higher self may come to you, or you may feel yourself traveling to a planet, traveling to a cluster of stars. Just tuning in. I'm ready to meet my higher self. I'm ready to connect to my higher self. Show me. Just take a few moments in this practice, taking note of what you are being shown, what your higher self is showing to you. And just asking if you have any messages to hear today from your higher self. Just taking a few moments. And just thanking your higher self and inviting your higher self to come with you, to come and connect in with your human body. So start to bring your consciousness back to where you have been, back through the galaxy, through space, through the planets and stars, back through the atmosphere of Earth, back through the clouds, the sky, back through the building that you're in, and back into your being. And imagining a beautiful rose crystalline energy following suit through your consciousness and coming down into your being. Show me. And just feeling the energy, feeling this connection of your higher self in energetic form coming into your being. Almost it's finding its way into a human impression of you. Imagine your higher self coming down through your crown of your head, into your third eye, into your eyes, your ears, your nose, your mouth, your lips, your jaw, your neck, your shoulders, your arms, your elbows, your wrists, your hands, your fingers, down into your heart, your spine, all of your tissues, your organs. Finding this energy down into your hips, the base of your spine, down into your root, down into your legs, your knees, your calves, your ankles, your feet, your toes, and the soles of your feet. Finding this consciousness going down into the earth, down through all the layers, down into the crystalline core of Gaia. Show me. Taking a deep breath in. Deep breath out. And then just bringing your awareness into your body. Show me. Bringing your hands together in front of your heart, rubbing your hands together to create some heat. And then just giving your third eye a little massage. Just stroking it with your fingers up towards your forehead. Placing your hands over your eyes and gently opening your eyes and coming into space. Hmm.
What a beautiful connection. Thank you for leading us in that.
You're welcome.
Very interesting. This is such an important connection, and it is the way that we move forward on New Earth. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We'll be carrying that rose crystalline with us.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. Thank you. All right. Well, this is our New Earth expression, our galactic expression, our starseed heritage, and it's your exploration of yourself, deeply within yourself. And this is where we get multidimensional. Can you explain the multidimensionality? I mean, we did talk a little bit about it. It's all within us. But then something also happened on the 1111 gateway. Are those two connected? Can you share a little bit more on that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there are many that have been holding back. And your divine expression wants to flow through at a rapid and accelerated rate. And so things are going to be amplified. They have been amplified. If you are sensitive to the energies, you would have been feeling shifts in your body, shifts in the way you look at life, shifts in how you've been doing things. Collectively, humanity's doing this anyway. As we come into December, it's a mad rush for Christmas, but it's also time to reflect on the year, right? And so all of these pieces are making up the bigger picture. So I just want you all to take a moment to imagine what it's like to live your life with a deep knowing. What it's like to live your life in your light, unapologetically. What it's like to understand instantaneously why circumstances and events are coming up for you. I want you to imagine what it's like to never have to worry about the financial piece, about the past, about what people would think of you if they are going to judge you. I want you to imagine what it will be like to have your memories of your starseed returned to you, so that you are no longer feeling shut off, separated, or disconnected solely in your human expression, but you are living all of you. Imagine what it's like walking into a room and seeing energy, seeing the energy around plants, around food, around people, noticing the difference of the energy that people are speaking, seeing the beautiful divine signature of people's hearts, and having clarity on your path, having clarity about your purpose, having clarity about your mission, so that you are no longer in the dark or second guessing or feeling frustrated with yourself or wondering when things are going to shift. I want you to imagine what it's like to really step up into that truth. And this is ready and available for you now. And this completion that we are in is the end of many cycles. There are many, 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 many versions of you, of self, that are being collapsed and dissolved into light, into unity consciousness. And so you are being asked and you are being shown a choice. And there's no right or wrong answer. But if you are truly ready, then that is what you declare to the universe every single day. I'm no longer available for things that do not serve. I am no longer available to constrict my frequency to appease others. I am no longer available. I am available for my multidimensional connection. I am available for my ultimate truth. I am available for the highest timeline available to me now. Show me. I am ready to embody all that my soul wishes for me. I am ready to learn. I am hungry for change. Change has already happened as I declare it to be so. Show me.
We are ready. Thank you. We are really empowered too by that, Zoe. Live your light. Oh my goodness. If anyone needs help in identifying their passion, there are so many tools for that. Hopefully, you're along your path a bit further and are ready to step up in new ways. And that's why we've got various groups, gatherings coming together to support one another in doing that, including after parties here with my guest on QCTV. And today we're having an after party with Zoe so that you can share your experience, you can ask your questions, and you can laugh with us. And it's immediately following this program. Zoe, thank you so much for being here. You have teachings that assist people as well. And on the screen, I've got a quick link, a bit.ly link for your special offer, which is a beautiful package of activations and tools that people can use to step up and really live their light. Let's talk a little bit about what's included in this offer. I do want to share, we're going to include a mastery empowerment course that we did with you. You were in Costa Rica, and that was such a beautiful experience. It was a cord cutting ceremony and very powerful. And again, that is a liberating tool. That's available in your special offer. And so is a QCTV after party ticket. So this is a beautiful special offer. Tell us what it includes, please.
Beautiful. Thank you, Loren, for including the cord cutting masterclass. That was a very powerful transmission. And looking at cord cutting from a more of a multidimensional perspective. So I remember us going through that, and it's a great tool for when you're really ready to let go of those more stubborn thinking beliefs and having people that you are ready to send love to, but it will help you with that. It will help you navigate that. So in terms of the special offer that I have put together for your community is a 4-hour course on Abundance Accelerator, which also includes a 45-minute binaural beat transmission, which is great for when you are wanting to visualize and create and use your imagination for moving forward. 2020 is a timeline of prosperity and abundance in all ways, all areas of your life. And so this is a really good course to do for December or moving into January, or whenever you are feeling you need a reminder that you are divine creator. And some of the tools and activations in there are things that I have used to build a very successful life for myself, of traveling pretty consistently internationally, and just allowing myself to receive first and foremost. You know, as we receive energy, we gift energy. As we gift energy, we receive energy. So I share some really personal, vulnerable stories in that program, and you also receive a activation teaching you how to open up your line of receiving for that abundance. So that is a 4-hour program. And then it also includes another program called Channeling with Spirit. And this is to really deepen your connection to your heart, to your higher self, to any guides that you want to call through. And if you are already channeling, this is a great advanced course. If you've never channeled before, there is something for you to learn in this course as well. So there's something for everyone. And I really like re-listening to this for the meditation and the activation that you get as well. And then part of that is a crystalline light code and Merkaba activation. So this is a a transmission of light that is opening up your higher energy centers so that you can start bringing through a lot of that information that maybe you've been kind of cut off. So as I was sharing before, when you're kind of you're on the ground and you're just paying attention to the human mind, let's get you the information that's going to help you move forward. And so that activation is really opening yourself up to those higher connections, your multidimensional connection. All of these are sacred journeys. Every one of these programs include programmed music into the activations. They also include information on how best to prepare for the energy activations and aftercare as well. And then including that, following on from the Abundance Accelerator, I wanted to add this as well, which is an expanded manifesting activation. This is a 2-hour class. You receive a crystalline DNA activation, which is to accelerate your manifesting potential. So this month, January, February, anytime is a really great time to get into harmonic resonance with the life that you want to create, so that your human is taken care of, your human is supported, and you can do the work that you came here to do without struggling, without being in fear, without lack, without scarcity. Let's open you up. Let's bring that energy through. Let's connect you to Source Creator and that abundance that wants to help you. A big piece that I see many go through is connecting in with their feminine. This has a lot to do with your receiving. And so an additional program for you is Path of the Feminine, which is an hour journey, which is leading you into your heart and into the heart of Gaia, connecting with that Gaia womb magic, your womb magic, whether you're a man or a woman, it doesn't matter. But this is really opening you up to receive. This is bringing you into softness. This is bringing you into that yin space. This is bringing you into that feeling of how you can really align to what you want to call in for yourself. And in addition to that is a book that I wrote called Love is the Answer. This is just some really great self-love, self-care, foundational tools. It's a great book to pick up, read, embody, integrate. There's some affirmations and invocations and meditations in there. And then pick up as and when you're feeling you need a little reminder of who you are and your beautiful brilliance for this earth. So yes, and Loren has very kindly added the cord cutting ceremony as well. So if you still feel that there's a bit of kind of stuck energy and you're like, oh, I just want to release this, I'm ready to move forwards, then that would be fantastic for you to do first, and then dive into all of the lovely content with that package.
Yes, wonderful tools for us to use in our mastery as we achieve it. We are here to make great change and go through this beautiful shift in our life. And so these tools are here to support that. And we invite you to check that out. Zoe is a beautiful teacher and a very high vibrational one. Zoe, I'd like you to share a little bit more on, you have something on your third eye area. This is quite magical.
Thank you. Yes, this is an ointment that I use. It's by a company called Tribal Markers, and it's gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And I just like to use it to kind of activate my third eye. And I use it in ceremony and whenever I'm doing any talks or bringing through any transmissions. It smells beautiful, but it just really, there's something about the energy of it that just really helps to bring me into presence. So yeah, it's kind of like,
well, it's
fun.
radiant. It's radiant. It's like a galactic symbol, actually.
Yeah,
Here on the video, that's
beautiful.
what it looks like.
Thank you.
Okay.
I love it.
Well, this has been a quantum conversation that has connected you to your higher self. We trust that you will carry this with you. It is how we shift into New Earth. As we've learned today, New Earth is a frequency. And as we've learned, we're becoming multidimensional through that 1111 gateway. There is no turning back. It's just time to step up. So be gentle with yourself as you move through these times. Don't put yourself in too much pressure, but allow the guidance to come and take those action steps. Zoe, you're going to be joining me in our after party immediately following. We're going to stick around on Zoom. Here is a quick link for for those who want to join us. It is our New Earth community. It's really fun. We gather in this space for all the QCTV after parties. And also there's a lot of bonuses, and it's just our community together. So we can join in this way. You can buy a single ticket, or you can join by membership. You can visit bit.ly/QCTV pass. bit.ly/QCTV pass. And again, if you purchase Zoe's special offer, you will get a ticket for the after party. So a couple options there for you. Check your Gmail. If you have a Gmail account, check in the promotions tab for our email, and you'll find the link to join us on Zoom. Zoe, this has been a beautiful quantum conversation as usual. Thank you for sharing on your journey and your own evolution. We will check back with you in the new coming year and know that we're all going to be in a new, fresh place. As we say goodbye, a closing message you'd like to share.
Thank you, Loren. It's been such a pleasure to be here today and to bring through some of the shifts that have been happening in my personal life, and then how that is hopefully going to support those ready to receive the messages. One thing that was coming through actually, and I'm sorry if this is too late to share this, if any of you are interested in the special offer, which I highly recommend you join, there's lots of amazing content for you, but I would actually like to add in access to a 2-hour masterclass I run on the 1111 gateway. And it doesn't matter when you sign up to this, like it's still relevant. It was a very powerful transmission. And I would like to bring that in as well. So I will update the page with you, Loren, but as you were sharing, it was coming through. It's like, oh, I meant to share that with your audience. So
powerful.
Yeah. Okay.
Because we can still access that. I know even in my own life, wow, it's been like a springboard. The downloads have been coming and the action steps have just flowed very easily. And that's what we're talking about here. So that really helps to support those who may not really be able to make sense of what to do with it. So thank you for that.
Yeah, You're welcome. Thank you. And thank you, everyone.
Zoe's special offer is at bit.ly/Zoe Abundance. Enjoy this new phase, everyone. These tools are here to support you, and it is time. Thank you, thank you, thank you, everyone. Thank you for this quantum conversation. We'll see you in the after party. So as we get there, it is now time to dance our way to the cosmic heart. Perfect Thank you for listening to this quantum conversation, and thank you for dancing with us to the cosmic heart. As we raise our own vibration, we raise the vibration of the planet. This show is dedicated to you and all awakening hearts, as we are here to shine our bright light and amplify our love. Access all quantum conversations, special offers from our guests, and online healing retreats by visiting acoustichealth.com.